Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Building a Better Tomorrow Today podcast. My name is Amelia Furlow, and this is my lovely mother,
Carolyn Furlow. Hi, everyone.
and we are so excited to just definitely start this wonderful episode. Today's episode is called Establishing Generational Health. This episode today is going to highlight the importance and it's going to be fulfilled with valuable information with simplistic approaches to healthy living. We have a special guest here with us today, Miss Carol White, who has a master's in nursing and a family nurse practitioner. Miss Carol White will be discussing the benefits of eating for one's blood type. Miss Carol has extensive experience in many specialty areas and was a clinical instructor and preceptor for graduate family nurse practitioner students. Ms. Carol provides patients with the option of receiving sound, scientifically based, natural, and drugless methods to facilitate the healing process for a variety of common health conditions. She also provides education in nutrition and fitness and weight management.
Carol, I have been so impressed with the work that you guys do at the New Millennium Institute of Wellness to find out that there is an exact origin of health and prescription of foods that we can eat to make ourselves healthier and feel better. And I just want to ask you, where did the theory of eating for one's blood type come from?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and I'm delighted to share some of the knowledge that I have from the years of being a nurse practitioner and treating hundreds of patients over the last 25 years. So when we look at blood type, this started back in the early 70s, early 80s, where two doctors, father and son, Dr. James Diadamo and Dr. Peter Diadamo, started looking at blood analysis and looking at how people responded to different diets, how people who ate a vegetarian diet did well, but if you gave the diet to someone else, they didn't do well. So they were trying to really figure out what was going on. So from that research, the son, Dr. Peter Diadamo, wrote a book called Eat Right for Your Type. It was published in 1996.
Oh,
And
okay.
the theory behind it looks at how, based on your blood type, you'll be able to learn how to manage stress better, manage your weight better, avoid disease, and also eat better. So with this work, I was introduced, myself and my business partner, we were introduced to this information back in the early 2000s. A patient of ours brought the book in and said, "Hey, have you heard about this?"
Oh,
And
Wow.
yeah, absolutely. And so we looked at it, and at that time, well, back in the late 90s, I was having some issues with swollen joints and painful joints. And I could not figure out what was going on because my lifestyle, it's always been about health. You know, no drinking, no smoking,
right.
exercising, nutrition, fitness. And then in the 90s, I started having this problem. And so once I read the book, I figured out the problem and never had the joint pain at all since then.
Wow.
And yeah, and so that really got my attention. So we started to encourage patients to begin eating for their type. And and so with this particular um, theory behind eating for your blood type, it looked at the four blood types. You have O's, you have A, you have B, and you have AB. And you can identify your blood type based on the red blood cell. On the red blood cell, there's a particular sugar, and it's a different sugar on each blood type, on each red blood cell to determine blood type. And when someone would eat a certain food, what happens is that that food will interact with the blood cell. And if it's harmonious, there's nothing going, the person feels good. If there is some disharmony, then the patient would sometimes feel something. Like, for instance,
Wow.
for me, which I'm a B blood type, if I ate tomato, immediately
I'm gonna say,
I would begin to, uh, I would begin to have joint pain. And
oh,
yeah, absolutely. But as a child growing up, what did I eat? Tomatoes, spaghetti, at the
Right.
time, chicken, which is another no-no for bees.
Yeah.
And so then I was able to identify the cause because of, being a child all the way up until my teens and early 20s, eating that way eventually caught up with me when I got in my 30s.
mm,
Right? It's because it was wearing down the immune system,
oh,
whereby 70 to 80% of the immune system is in the gut.
mm,
So by eating those foods on a day-to-day basis was weakening my immune system. And as a result, what happens is if you eat something that you have an allergy to, the red blood cells act as the security gate. It says, okay, wait a minute, there's something here that shouldn't be here, and it alerts the white blood cells, which is part of the immune system, to go and attack it and try to neutralize or mitigate the damage or the inflammation that's going on.
oh,
And if you continue to eat those foods that you have an allergy to, the system becomes overloaded. It's not able to adequately defend itself against that food or that intruder. And
mhm,
what happens is it's called an antigen antibody complex. This complex, which helps to neutralize the allergic effect of the food, now
Right.
happens, it's no longer able to identify, okay, is this the poison or is this the actual cell itself? And
Mm.
so it begins to attack itself, and that's where autoimmune comes in, because
oh,
it can no longer defend itself against that particular substance that's supposed to mitigate the allergic reaction. Now the body has created an allergy to that particular complex, which is supposed to help you.
right,
And so therefore you have
yeah,
this autoimmune response going on. And one of the things about eating for one's blood type is that these doctors have been able to identify foods by different food categories. For instance, they've identified foods that act as medicine to the body. So it
oh,
has a healing effect.
right,
Then you have foods that were classified as neutral. And these foods, these are your proteins, your carbs, your fats, your vitamins, and your minerals, and your water. Those foods help to um, promote growth and regeneration and development of the body. It helps to keep the body healthy. And so those are your neutral foods. So they're neutral and they're fine to eat. And then
yeah,
the third category are your avoids. And your avoids, those are the ones that can wreak havoc, some damage to the body.
so,
And those
so
avoids,
you the good and the bad. So you know good that's gonna keep you healthy, and you
yeah,
know what's bad, what you should avoid.
absolutely. So these avoid foods, which are considered the bad foods, they cause the inflammation in the body. They
Mm,
act as a poison, and it can generate an allergic reaction in the body.
yeah,
Mhm.
And so, but one of the challenges is that when someone has a particular ailment, they necessarily don't associate it with food that they've eaten, because
Right. That is so true.
if it's healthy food, they say, but it's good food, it's healthy food, and I've eaten it all my life. I said, yes, but certain foods, certain plants have a chemical or a protein that's called a lectin. And a lectin, also on the red blood cell, you have proteins. And the food, like for instance, in my case with tomatoes have lectins in it. My body does not have the enzyme to help me break down the lectin, which is a protein. So as a consequence, that lectin stays in the body and exerts this inflammatory response because the body cannot mitigate the result or mitigate the action of that lectin.
Wow.
And so it creates inflammation in the gut because whenever we eat anything, right, it's going to go into the mouth. And sometimes there are folks who have a allergic reaction when they eat pineapple or drink pineapple juice. They start feeling this itching sensation. And sometimes they may not have adequate amount of that enzyme to help them neutralize that effect, break down that particular substance in their body.
These scientists have separated the different blood types of what foods people, certain blood types can digest.
Exactly. So there's a saying that one man's food can be another man's poison.
Wow.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like me and my sister, because at one point I was a vegetarian and she tried and she couldn't be a vegetarian. She had anemic reactions or something like that. And she just could not have the same diet as I could.
Exactly. And again, based on blood types. So when we look at the 4 different blood types, the O blood types, they're the oldest. They make up about 55% of the population. And those are the meat eaters. So they do well with a lot of protein of that sort. And when you look at the A type, those are the vegetarians. So they don't do well with meat.
Well,
I
think I'm B positive.
Right.
Right. I have an issue with the tomatoes too. And my granddaughter and other daughter are B plus too. And all of them, when we eat tomatoes, we start itching. And inflamed as well.
Exactly.
Even young granddaughter, she's 7 now. She's like, oh no, I can't eat tomatoes. I'm itching.
And so that's when people can see the association with that allergy with that food. But then there are times where you'll have an allergy, but you don't relate it to the food. Again, like I said earlier, because it's a good food.
Yeah. I didn't know until we got into the blood type by coming to you guys' institute and getting involved and getting our list of the good foods and the beneficial foods and the foods to avoid. I didn't know when I ate spaghetti that would make me itch. I would just itch and not know why.
Exactly.
Until I became in tune to eating for your blood type that I started recognizing the foods that did affect me adversely. Just like you mentioned, I don't eat chicken anymore, and I used to eat it, but when I ate it, I would get a lot of pain in my breasts. Like, going on. I don't know what was going on, but when I stopped eating it, the breast pains went away. But if I eat it again, they come back. So
exactly.
It's interesting.
Exactly. And the other thing about eating for one blood type, let me go back to B blood type. I didn't talk blood type. So Bs, they represent about 10% of the population. The A's, about 35% of the population are A blood. Bs are 10%. And Bs, they're the ones that call the balance, where they can eat certain meats and they can also do fish and some veggies. So there's that balance there. And then AB, which is the rarest, and it accounts for about 5% of the population, they're called the modern eaters, but they can't have beef or chicken. They
Wow.
cannot, right? They can do fish and turkey
Wow.
predominantly. So there's that caveat where, again, one man's food is another man's poison.
Right.
And so with that, uh, we have been able to help so many people eliminate allergies, GI stuff or gastrointestinal stuff of gas and bloating, constipation, diarrhea, arthritic conditions, just
Yeah.
by removing some of those foods out of their diet. And we just tell them, you know, just try it. Try
Yeah.
it for days. And the thing is, sometimes when patients are a little resistant, it's because they want to eat what they want to eat.
Right.
That's true.
you
Well,
know,
To
you
ask
know,
you with
we've
that,
developed.
you've seen a difference. So with the patients who did start eating right for their blood type, have you seen a difference within how they're adopting to the diet and their healthy lifestyle? Do they have like a certain different glow, or are they reporting just more mental clarity? Because this seems like a total lifestyle change and adjustment.
Absolutely. And definitely, they did start to see, we did see, and the patient did experience, more mental clarity, more energy, less joint pain, better digestion. We just had a patient yesterday who talked about, oh, you know what? I don't have acid reflux anymore. I don't
Wow.
have gas anymore, just by making some subtle changes in their diet.
yeah.
And yeah, so it's real a lot. It's really exciting work that has been done, but also, it's unfortunate that many doctors, the conventional doctors, don't study nutrition a lot. In,
Exactly.
in my understanding that even, training to become a doctor, they're not required to take a lot of classes in nutrition. And back in the day, the family doctor knew about nutrition, but also herbs to help people, to
Yeah.
heal. And the
So,
family doctor knew everybody in the family because they
that,
had a chance to really develop good relationships to know what's going on with their patient. I remember even growing up, our family doctor, he would ask me, well, how you doing in school and what grade you in? And, he would ask those kinds of questions and when he was doing his exam with me. So he really got a chance to really interact. And today, most providers just don't have the time to sit and really get a feel for what's going on, in their relationship with their husband and wife and how
yeah,
school's going and things of that nature. So you really don't get a chance to really connect with that patient.
Yeah.
And that's why, as a nursing student, I was the slowest one because I wanted to get a feel of who my patient was.
I
You know,
love
That's
that.
what I was going
you
to
know,
on your website that one of your mantras is you deal with the entire patient. Like,
absolutely.
I guess not just their nutrition, but their mental stability. What else comes with that for you?
So we're looking at how they are intellectually, emotionally, physically, and then the spiritual aspect,
Okay.
spiritually, because we're here on this planet for two things. One, to learn how to manage ourselves and
Yes.
to manage this planet
Mhm.
so
Right.
that we have, inner peace. If we have inner peace, inner calmness, then we'll attract those people who have the same.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Say, is that why we all connect so well?
Right. We're here to, to be kind to one another and to help one another, help each other.
Yeah, well, I just
Yes.
appreciate and respect what you and doing at the Institute. I think it's awesome and that you contribute so much to society. And I just wonder, are there a lot of people that know about this and are turning to this?
Well, apparently there are certain models, and I was reading that like Elle magazine and Newsweek and Bazaar, several magazines were talking a little bit about eat right for your type, eating for one's blood.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I think that more people, hear about it and really begin to experience a change or a difference in their body, it will catch on. What's so interesting is, eating for your blood type, for me, it's not a diet. Again,
Right.
it's a lifestyle, what we talked about earlier. And when we look at what's happening with society, where 4 out of 10 folks, have a weight issue, but we have a myriad of diets out there on the market. The keto diet, the intermittent, the paleo diet, the South Beach diet, Weight Watch,
All of
on and on and on.
Mhm.
But with a diet, it gives you the temporary um, achievement that you want, that temporary goal that you're looking for. And once you establish that goal, the goal of losing X amount of pounds, right, or getting into that dress or pants size that you were looking for. But then once you've achieved that goal, then what happens? We fall back asleep and go right back to eating the way that we were eating before. When
Right.
you're talking about generational wealth or generational health, excuse me, I looked at when I was younger, I grew up with Jack LaLanne. I
Oh,
don't know, you,
I know about
you may
that.
not know Amelia, right? But Jack LaLanne was the fitness and nutritional guru back in the late 50s, the 50s, all the way up until 1985. He was the first person to have a show on TV to teach people about that. And I remember my mom and I on the floor doing the exercises and following his plan. So he was my motivation for igniting the fire in me to live a healthy lifestyle, that it can be achieved. And so what I discovered in high school was I started looking at family conditions, family health conditions. On my mother's side, there was diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol. On my father's side, there was heart disease and cancer and diabetes. And I said, I didn't want to go down any of those paths. So at that point, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to go a different path. And that's when I started to become vegetarian back in the 80s. And I said, okay, because I don't want those particular illnesses. And then going to nursing school and learning about health, I said, why are doctors waiting for people to get sick?
Wow.
When it's easier to keep them healthy. You teach them.
Tell it.
You teach them how to be healthy, right? But what I realized was there was no money in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
There's money in illness or sickness. There's no, or
pharmaceuticals.
In pharmaceuticals, exactly. But we were not born into this world to be on medications for the rest of our life.
Exactly.
So we live in a society that's looking for instant gratification. Where's the pill to help get rid of the pain? Or where's the pill to help with this and help with that? Yeah. And when patients would come to me asking me for the pill to help them lose weight, I would ask them to show me the pill that made you gain the weight. I tell them I don't do that, because it's a temporary fix. And who knows what the side effects are, I said, no, it's about, eating healthy, organic, live foods, adequate water.
Yeah. Well, I was on this podcast. One of the first things I want to know is where would I go to find out my blood type, and where would I go to find out what foods to eat, and how can I connect with this wonderful Institute of Wellness?
Sure. Now, if you don't know your blood type, you can find out from your doctor. Only if you've had a baby or you've had a major surgery and had to have a transfusion, or you've donated blood, because the typical blood draw that's done does not include blood type because insurance will not pay for it.
Oh,
So it's
Wow.
done. So you can go to some of the CVS, some of the Rite Aids and Walgreens may carry the kit, the little home kit to do your own testing.
Nice.
And you can also go online. I know Walmart sells them online. Amazon sells the kit online for $8. And and if you're not squeamish of looking at blood, you do a
Right.
little finger stick and you get 4 little drops of blood and you put it on this card. And in 5 minutes, you'll know what your blood type is. It's very simple. We did this in high school in 10th grade. We learned how to, test our blood type in 10th grade. So,
cool.
yeah. So if you know of someone who's a nurse or a nurse's aide, someone who can give injections, maybe somebody who might have, unfortunately, diabetes, who knows how to, do injections or prick themselves, they can help you with that. And you can also go to the Diodamo website, www.d as in David, D as in David, M as in Mary, O.com. And you can download information from there in terms of, and get even more information about some of the different diseases or conditions that we see based on eating those avoid foods. Also, there's an app, Eat Right for Your Type. It's Eat Right, the number 4, your type. And it's $3.99, one-time charge. It has all of the blood types. It has all the foods. It has recipes in the back. So it has a lot of information there. And you just carry it with you so that has even a little shopping cart so that when you're doing your grocery shopping, you can add in foods that you want to buy. That's your grocery list.
Awesome. So when someone makes an appointment with New Millennium Institute of Wellness, what can they expect?
So what we do initially is do a consultation to find out, what is going on with them. They can come into the office or they can have a telephone consult if they're not in the area. I'm in the Los Angeles area, and really find out, what is their concern, and based on what their concern is, see how we can help them. And the first thing we do is, what's your blood type? If they don't know it, we perform the test right there in the office, so they know instantly what it is. So that's the first step, making sure that they're getting, that they're putting the right foods in their body. And I also ask them, how are you in terms of your water intake? Because most people are dehydrated. They don't eat, they don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
We're losing 2 to 3 quarts of water a day, 4 to 8 glasses a day. Just
Wow.
perspiration and urination and having bowel movements and sweating, so we're losing a lot of water, and people are, drinking substitutes for water, coffee and, sodas and other beverages, but water is the mainstay because that's what makes up most of the blood, which is the river of life. Everything has to flow through the body, through, the cardiovascular system, the vascular system. So you need that water to help flush and clean the system.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So you guys combine chiropractic services with
Yes, we do. For those who need it, right? Those who need the chiropractic work. But yeah, it's really educating the patient how to really take care of their body, because most people know how their car functions better than they know how their body functions.
That's deep.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
People point to where your stomach is, and they're all over the place. They're not where the stomach is because if they haven't taken science classes or, anatomy and physiology, people just don't know, just assume.
Yeah. And just full disclosure, because I was able to go to the New Millennium Institute of Wellness, and I just want to say thank you, because right from the beginning, right when I walked in, you just had such a beautiful energy and were just such a wealth of knowledge and just answered all of my questions, because I was able to get my blood test. I was actually 30 at the time. And I just feel like at that age, knowing just really implemented to me an awareness for me to really establish generational health. And that's why I'm just so grateful to speak with you today and for sharing so much, because when you were able to tell me the benefits and knowing your blood type, and for disclosure, I found out I'm blood type O, and I still have my list right here with me. Telling you, I'm just going to be honest. I did backslide, but I'm getting right back on track. Like I told my mom, I said I was back on track. Okay.
Right.
Like, to see how my body was when I was eating for my blood type, I just felt like I was on top of the world. And for my job, I had a job that is just like very demanding, to where I have to wake up at 4:45 in the morning. So I started resorting back to coffee and just sugary drinks and things that just gave me this natural sugar rush, realizing, oh my goodness, Amelia, get back to this list and get back, because I suffered from a lot of shoulder pain. And I realized when I did too much coffee or just anything with too much sugar, my anxiety, I would start sweating. And that's my body. And I love how you put that scenario where we'll check our car before the body, car wash, and it was all that. Okay.
Right.
The body will signal that. And
Exactly.
I was in 7-Eleven and just making a coffee. I start sweating. My shoulders start spasming. I just put the coffee down. I said, no, what am I doing? Because I just feel like the body will remind you. And just a reminder to people is, don't feel bad if, you're just now finding out your blood type, because I just found out my blood type, and I just feel like learning and just having these reminders.
Well, we even just found out the importance of knowing your blood type and eating for your blood type.
Yes.
Because you can be a vegetarian. You can go on all those other diets, the Southwest diet, this diet. But if you don't know your blood type, some of those foods can still adversely affect you.
Exactly.
And so really eating for your blood type, because like you say, when do, you feel like you're on a plateau of how you just feel your best. And that's
absolutely.
But moving forward, how can we get in touch with you? How can someone make an appointment?
They can call the office at 310-670-9344, or they can also email me at carol@nmiwellness.com.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I just want to close in with saying the importance of having discussions around establishing generational health, because I feel like, in a society that does profit, like we were speaking on earlier, like I love how you mentioned that, if it doesn't make, a lot of companies money, they tend to not be interested. So you don't really see that highlighted. So I feel like with this society that we are living in, a lot of people do glamorize and glorify wealth and want to establish this wealth. But I just want to call out to people is that you cannot sustain your wealth if you don't establish your health first. So yes, it is fine to have, the flashy cars, the biggest house, this and that. But if you don't take care of the internal organs, the inside, and like you said perfectly, knowing and just like, I love how you brought up the story of when you were in your program and just understanding the difference between both sides of your family. I feel like that is a key component in establishing generational health is, putting those gloves on and getting to the nitty gritty of what is in our family and in our generation, And like you're saying, setting that new wave. I just think this is just groundbreaking because to me, it just puts fire back into me and then reminds me too, is that, you know, life is nothing to play with. We have to make sure our immune systems are strong, especially in the height of what we just experienced with the wave of COVID. So grateful that you've shared so much. And I hope people who are listening today can definitely check out the website and come down to the Wellness Institute, because I can definitely attest when I walked in there and when gave me my chiropractic alignment, I literally just felt like I was walking into a new realm of life. And I just feel like, you know, everyone deserves to just really feel the best in their skin, because that's what this podcast is about, building a better tomorrow today. And we have to take care of our bodies. Yes,
start with ourselves.
Absolutely. And I just like to close with one thing here. It said, there's a quote by, two things. I would tell patients, whoever is cooking and preparing the food in the house, in the medicine room of the house, which is the kitchen, they're the doctor. They influence the health of their entire family.
Mm.
Yes, they really do. And then there's a quote by Thomas Edison says, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit of it. It says the doctor, and I say the healthcare, the doctor, the healthcare professional, or the nurse practitioner, they will be the doctor of the future by not giving any medicine to their patients, but educating them on diet, exercise, proper rest, sleep, those kinds of things that will help to, you know, mitigate any disease.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just looking at cause and effect. Cause and effect, figuring out what the cause is and the effect. Usually we see what the effect is, but we are sometimes blind to what the cause is. So
that's a lot of time.
Helping people identify the causes so that way they can be in control of their health.
I love that.
All right. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think that's it. I think we covered a lot of it. And I just hope that for those who, you know, take the leap, and if this information resonates with them, you have my blessings to go ahead and experiment with it. And those of you who this does not resonate with you, that's fine, but find something that will help you on your journey of health and wellness.
I don't think there's anything better than eating for your blood type, though. Okay, well, we would love to have you come back and do a part 2 of this. But for today, thank you so much for your participation.
Yes.
And thank you again for having me.
This was amazing. I am just seriously feeling so pumped up again. And this is the recharge I truly needed, because I feel like it's helping, you know, my overall understanding of how it takes a complete package, the mind, body, and soul. And that you have to really mentally get yourself in a position to say, you know what, it's time. I'm ready. And I just want to end on, I love how you say this is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. And when those who are ready, and I just think about those who have, you know, families, think about the diversity of families, because in my family, like my mom mentioned, between us, there's 2 different blood types. So my brother, my sister had the same blood type, and me and my father had the same blood type O. And I was even reading up on the app how it tells you when you have blood type O, you need to have exercise daily. Like you need to really let out that stress. And me having a job where I work in the banking industry, it can just be high level stress. So it reminds me, Amelia, you didn't work out today, you know, release that. So I just feel like there's so many benefits. And I just thank you again for just all that you provide and all that you share today. And we truly wish you a happy holiday.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays to you too and all your listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.